Welcome to the Happy Mama Village podcast, episode 2, Divorce and Parenting, part 2.
Welcome to the Happy Mama Village podcast, episode 2. This is Brian Zielinski
and Annie Henderson.
Welcome back to our village where we talk about all things pertaining to happy mamas, like relationships, parenting, wine, self-care, etc. And while you're listening, don't forget to like this episode and join our Facebook page at the Happy Mama Village. Also, we have some exciting freebies for you ladies out there. Annie and I have both, we're both going to be offering one free coaching session per person during the month of May.
Wow. That'll be fun.
It'll be fun. That should keep us busy. You can message us on Facebook to claim your free session. Yay.
Awesome. And it can be about parenting. If you have something else to talk about, we can definitely help as well, because as you can see on our page, we have different aspects and different groups and people that we help. So definitely ask if you have a question.
Definitely. If you have like meditation questions, Annie's your girl. If you have tequila questions, I'm your girl. whatever you need, we're going to be there for you. So
that's awesome.
Thanks for joining us for episode number 2. I'm so excited to get into our topic, but first, I cannot even believe that it's already May and school's almost out.
Oh my goodness.
Are you feeling it?
I am. I'm digging it. Right now I am helping out at an elementary school as the long-term sub school counselor. So
so you're super ready for
it's a different thing, and it's funny because parents are having the opposite countdown. Some of them, yes, they are loving it. They love the summer, and it starts off all fun and exciting, and then the closer school gets to starting back, they're like, okay, come on. Come on.
That's me. My hand is raised right now because I love summer. I love having my kids at home. I count, like some people count down to Christmas. I count down to summer. I really like having my kids home. So I'm excited about it.
That's great.
But so in our last episode, which was episode 1 of our series on divorce and parenting, we talked about consistency, which was great. I loved that episode we did. We talked about bedtimes and setting expectations and modeling really what you want and showing kids a plan, being some structure.
Exactly. And that can definitely get tricky when summer comes around, because some of us will definitely throw those out the window, but just remember that kids do thrive on consistency. So if you notice they're starting to act up or whine and complain because they're not getting the same amount of sleep.
Or maybe or maybe the mamas are starting to whine and complain.
Exactly. Yeah. A bedtime isn't just for them. Sometimes it's for us. Sometimes we need that quiet time, that alone time. We need to watch our show that maybe they can't watch.
Consistency is probably a good thing for all of us. So that was last week. That was consistency. This week, episode 2 is again, it's our second part of our series on divorce and parenting. Is going to be about communication. So we're going to have a lot of great information for you. Annie, really, this is your field of expertise, so I'm just going to let you kind of lead and take it away.
All right. So communication, that is huge. I think I might say that on every step. So just beware.
It's all huge. Everything's huge.
Yes, it is all huge. So with communication, that's something we all need to work on. We all do it every day. We, communicate with our friends. We communicate with our boss, and all these have different rules. When we communicate with our kids, how they communicate at school versus at home. So a lot of that is modeling great communication and giving them the chance. So instead of maybe traditional lecture type parenting that some of us might have had when we were growing up. Really having kind of like a feedback loop where, you know what, we do value what you say. And one thing I think we had talked about, Brian, was having a kind of maybe a monthly. I know some people are familiar with like a family meeting. Some people are really good about it. Some people only have them when something serious and horrible is going wrong and they are needing to lay down the law. But what I would like to encourage is either you can also do it over dinner. That's a quick, easy way to do it. But if you want it, you know, a little more formal, you can set it up to where everyone, no matter if they're a kid or an adult, gets to give someone feedback. And the teacher in me and the counselor in me says, you know, give a glow and a grow. Give, you know, say something that you've noticed that they're doing so well, and then give something that they might need to work on. And that's a great, safe time to explain that, because you're not in the middle of a fight. They haven't, you know, just not done something and you're yelling at each other, if that's the case. So talking to them when it is a nice, safe, and everyone's, you know, calm and relaxed is a perfect time.
Okay, so say that again. It's a grow and a
glow.
Glow. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna remember that. So you start with the glow, I assume, and then talk about the grow.
Yeah. Perfect. And some people even sandwich it in with another glow at the end. Just depends how many kids you have and how much time you might have.
Gotcha. Great tip. I love that.
Yeah. So then definitely let the kids share with you as well. And it might take a while. Like my daughter shared one with me. She said I gasped too much.
So, like that kind of gasping?
Right. I gasp when I remember something. I gasp when I get scared. I gasp like anything. So I figure if that's the most she can tell me right now, then I'll take it. Like it's something crazy that I need to work.
I'm a little afraid of what my kids might say.
Right. Try to predict. Try to see if they're going to say what you think they might say. And of course, if the more family members you have, you're going to get several rounds of feedback.
I think my daughter told me the other day that when I get stressed, I go into scary mommy mode. It's the first time she'd ever said that, and it kind of made me feel bad. But I mean, I was glad she told me that and shared it, you know, because I do kind of get like a drill sergeant, you know, like grab your lunch, get in the car, you know.
Yes, and it is so. Aren't you glad you know that?
For sure, yeah.
A lot of times we
pay more attention.
Yeah, we think we're so good at hiding our stress or our anger. They can read us like a book.
Right. Yeah.
So, and with that, just that goes along great with it. When you do have that moment where you you didn't control it, and maybe you were yelling or your voice was raised or something, you know, was a little different, and something that maybe you did not want to be witnessed by your kiddo, or you don't want them to, you know, pick up on that. That's a perfect time for communication and talking to them about it. I've loved this because I was a little nervous, and I did this years ago with my daughter. And it was interesting because like maybe a couple of hours later or something, she copied me. So it was, you know, sorry, I got a little frustrated. I was a little stressed out, but I shouldn't have talked to you like that. Will you please forgive me? And of course, being your sweet babies, if it's a calm moment, they're going to say yes.
Right.
And it's just a great, I mean, I teach that to students at the school too. Just saying sorry, that's kind of kindergarten level.
Right.
Apologies. There's a next level.
Things you were taught in kindergarten.
Yes. There's saying what happened, and apologizing, and asking for forgiveness, and seeing if, you know, there's something that you can do. So there's all this modeling. There should always be modeling that's going on, and hopefully good modeling. So earlier we talked about dinner time. There is a counseling tool I used, and I actually, a lot of times I love to try things out on my family, and
Ah,
it's
little guinea pigs.
it's called the Ungame, which it's not really a game. um,
Hence
it
the name.
Yeah, it's just basically a deck of cards, and it asks certain questions. Now, I believe the way it's set up is you can, like, one person draws it and they answer it. I like to still use it as a great time to model. So, for example, if my daughter draws the card, she'll read it, she'll get to answer first, and then we'll all say what we think as well. Like, oh, I would do this. So, if it's something I really want her to model, and if she didn't quite say something that I agreed with, then I don't take away from what she said, but I just say, oh, well, this is what I would do and why. So it's a great game, and if you're thinking ahead of the game, then you can before you set the cards out, you can sort through them and put a few new ones on.
Stack. Are you saying we can stack the deck?
You can stack
So,
the deck, definitely.
so if we need to talk about like wearing deodorant or something, we can like look. Oh, look, this is our top card. Imagine that.
Yeah, perfect. And sometimes, there might be situations where you're trying to, depending on the age of your kids, there are different levels. There's a 1, there's a 2. But sometimes it's good to discuss something before it actually happens. So, it's in their head and it's something that might have been, at least discussed a little bit before it ever pops up.
Yeah, I love that. I'm definitely, is that a game that we can, is that an actual game that you can purchase like on Amazon or Target
Yes,
or
yes. And
awesome,
I will try to put that in the notes as well, just as a reminder. The
awesome.
Ungame.
I love that. I love that idea. We do family dinners and we play a little game called Rosebud Thorn. And we all share, first we start with our thorn, which is the worst part of our day. What part of your day did you hate or did it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
And, and then our rose, which is the best part of your day. And then we end with the bud, which is what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Ooh, I like the bud. I haven't heard that one before.
So I've been playing that with my kiddos when they were little, but I feel like we've kind of grown out of that. And so this Ungame is a great next step for diving in a little bit deeper, having a little bit more mature conversation. I love that.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, keep it novel and keep it fresh. You can always loop back to the rosebud because and thorn they might like it. So yeah, you can, depending on the day or just every once in a while, switch it up so they don't get too bored with it. It's a great idea. And yeah, if you are a family that doesn't do family meals, I know sometimes it's hard with all of the activities that kids do nowadays and maybe working late, but if you can at least fit in 1 or 2 a week, that's better than nothing, because when you have that consistency, when you have the consistency of coming to the table and talking and reviewing stuff, when you do that consistently, you can see when something's up. You can see if something's bothering them. If, I hate to bring this up, but when some kids maybe start to do self-harm, like if they're wearing clothes that is not in season, or they're, covering up their bodies in different ways. There's all these little signs and things you might notice if you have consistency with some kind of routine in your family.
Right. Yeah. That I hadn't thought of that. That makes sense though.
Definitely. Let's see. Um, kind of like what you were saying with talking at dinner. My daughter and I, every night and every morning, I'll ask her what she's grateful for. So just another form of communication, a little different. It's just setting up good routines and being grateful. And a lot of times people like to share what's wrong, and that's not a great habit to instill. Or
Yeah,
I
it's like
know
the news. Nobody likes the news because it's all bad news.
Yeah, it is not fun. Some people love drama. My daughter was actually talking to her dad, and I heard him say, "Any drama at school?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, come on." But
Need to
she,
get him to sign up for the Happy Mama Village.
right? Yes, this is not just for mamas. Yes. So sharing, and of course, that's just something you can kind of role play with and practice. It's never too late. Do y'all do anything like that or similar, or would that be kind of like also your rosebud, I guess?
Yeah, the rosebud is kind of our favorite part of the day at bedtime. We try to spend a little bit of time with them when we're putting them to bed, but I love that idea. I read a book a few years ago, um, and it was basically, I forget the exact name of it, but the author was challenging herself to come up with blessings, ways that
Yes.
things that were blessing to her. And it's that same concept about gratitude. What are you thankful for? And what you focus on grows. And it's so easy as parents to especially, I think, single parents, divorced parents, to get so overwhelmed with the day-to-day life, that and the chores and the negative aspects, like what you were saying, that's all that we're focusing on. And so taking a few minutes to focus on the good things, what we're thankful for, how were we blessed today, it just shifts our focus, and I think really improves just the quality of life in your family.
Exactly. And I've heard you can't be grateful and the opposite at the same time. So whatever it is, if you're needing to shift out of a negative or grumpy mindset, shifting and thinking about something you're grateful for, and not just saying I'm grateful for my house, but really going into the appreciation and why. I'm grateful for my house because it's safe. A lot of people don't have houses. I can, it's I have a warm bed and all of that stuff. So really going into the details of it instead of just sometimes they'll try to get off the hook with just saying a one word answer and doing the check.
No, that's so true. I love that. My daughter, whenever she prays, she thanks God for that she has water, that we have water.
Hmm.
And I know it's because, she knows that there are people around the world that don't have the luxury of water. So while it's a sweet concept, that she is thankful for the water,
Mm-hmm.
I think challenging her to go a little bit deeper. What is it about that you're thankful for? Um,
Right.
I think that's a great tip, is digging a little bit deeper. It's great that she's thankful for water, but why? And taking that next step to really um, access, in your mind
Mm-hmm.
or in your heart, what you're really truly grateful for.
Yes, exactly. That'd be a great challenge. And one reason that we're talking about communication today is it is so important. So we, as their parents, we're teaching them and guiding them. And, there's so many times that being a kiddos at school or, when they grow up or if, they ever get pulled over by the police, they're going to need to communicate and be able to explain themselves or ask for help and do it in a way that really enables them to get what they need. And a lot of times with kids at school or even clients I've had, they are not able to communicate. They don't have that practice. So just getting in the practice, even if nothing crazy is going on, just getting to practice expressing themselves and sharing and being able as well to sit and listen and not just be reaching for
Yeah.
the next comment.
That's such a great point, because I think that is a lost art, or it's trending in the direction of being more and more challenging for our kids with as much technology as they have, that it's hard to, we do have to teach them to have face-to-face conversations, both good conversations and hard conversations,
Yes.
and to express themselves correctly. We were laughing about this earlier. My when my oldest daughter was 3, we were I was married at the time. We were going to a reception to honor my grandparents for the work that they had done at a local children's home. And she asked where we were going. And so I was trying to communicate on her level of understanding what we were doing. That, we're going to this children's home. They take in abused and neglected children who don't have parents or whose parents can't take care of them. And I thought I was doing a fabulous job of, communicating with my 3-year-old. And I looked back and she's crying. And I go, sweetie, what's wrong? Why are you crying? She said, I don't want to go. I said, why don't you want to go? She said, because I have parents. Baby, we're not leaving you there. We're just going for a dinner, And so even when we think we're doing a great job, sometimes we're not,
Yes.
And I think that's just one example of how important communication is.
Yes, that's such a good example. And if you don't know this yet, you will hear me say it a lot. I am a huge Brene Brown fan. And
she's great.
one phrase that she had used when talking to her husband is, the story I'm telling myself is, and it can help, clear up miscommunication. Like, the story I'm telling myself is that you don't like me, or the story I'm telling myself is I'm in trouble, and then the other person can hear it and clarify and fix it if it's just a horrible miscommunication.
Or they can say, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
I really don't like you that
much. And next, I'm going to give a little sneak peek. Next podcast, we will be talking about technology. And yes, communication and technology go hand in hand, but it can be a slippery slope. I just actually talked to a group of kids about internet etiquette, and you have manners in different locations, but also online. And sometimes when we have those screens and everything, we lose the filter. We don't see a face to go with what we're saying, and the communication shifts completely.
Yeah, that's great. We need more. That should be a school credit.
Right? Yes.
Etiquette for sure. That sounds, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I may be most excited about that episode.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm very excited.
All right. So thanks everyone for joining us. For more information or to interact with either of us, you can check us out on Facebook again at the Happy Mama Village, or on our individual websites. Mine is www.rebuildingwithbrian.com.
And mine is AnnieMHenderson.com.
Also, you can check out our show notes for more information, and be sure to tune in next time for part 3 of Divorce and Parenting.